What is up, everybody? It is your boy Farai. Thank you once again for tuning in. In today's video, we're going to be discussing some techniques and ways to mix better sounding vocals. So with that being said, let's get straight into the video. The first part of this video will be me giving you 2 essential tips, pre-production tips, if you may, in order to get a better vocal sound. So let's get straight into it. So the first tip that I have is to try and record in the best space possible. So that means to record in a space that is not too loud, in a space that is not too reflective. You don't need acoustic treatment, but what you do need is to set up your microphone in a way that it's not picking up too much of the room. There is no way that anybody will ever be able to mix vocals if there is too much room tone in them. Anyone listening will not be able to enjoy your vocal sound either. So that to me is the most important thing. Even if you don't mix your vocals and just record straight to a beat without any EQ, if you're in a deadish sounding room, it's going to sound much better than if you had 100 EQs applied to a vocal that was just trashed upon recording. So that's the first tip. Second tip is to get a microphone that suits you. Now, the first thing I always tell people is get whatever you can afford to start. If I was worrying about which microphone, I was worrying about when I started, I first purchased the Behringer C1, and that is, a $60 microphone, and we just had a blast using it. I was able to learn everything that I know today. So if I didn't, purchase that microphone, I don't think I would be where I'm at. I'd probably be selling insurance or something. So, get whatever you can. This right here is something I can personally vouch for because I've used this for a very long time on many different voices, many different people. It is the SE2200. It won't really zoom in, but SE have also released the brand new SE2300, and that is sounding good from what I've heard on YouTube. Other good options are definitely Rode NT1. That is also kind of on the expensive side. This is kind of under the $500 range. You can also get something like an MXL microphone. Obviously, these are condenser microphones. They will need phantom power, so you will have to get yourself an audio interface. Focusrite, definitely. So many people have them. The newest generation of Focusrite just sounds absolutely superb. They have kind of ISA style preamps, and I can personally vouch for them. So yeah, with that being said, let's get straight into the video. We're going to be working on some Young Thug style vocals today, but you can apply these techniques to any sort of upfront, aggressive rap vocals. Let's get straight into it. Alright, so now it is time to get into our mixing part of the tutorial. And yeah, obviously I like to use a template simply because I like consistency. Once you've found a template you like, it's really just easy to add your microphone. You've got the settings you like and you're ready to go. There's no kind of leveling and all of that kind of thing. I personally like to EQ my beat and that kind of thing so that my voice is gelling really well. Those are kind of one of the many positives to using a template. We'll be making use of the plugins that I like. We've also got a Waves gold bundle effects chain, I guess, that you can also get. The one thing that is not part of the Waves Gold bundle is the CLA Mix Hub, but there are many other alternatives. There's also the SSL stuff, which I'm sure a lot of people have. But regardless, let's get straight into it. We'll take a listen. We've got this Cartier Gucci Scarf remix going on. We've got the instrumental, so we're going to be rapping over that to kind of see if we can get that sound, similar to Young Thug and the guys that are really doing top-notch numbers. So let's get into that.
Red with the green like a tag. And a little workout.
Yeah, I need a drop top push. Hey, I moved the pack up north. Hey, think I'm Luke cause I got that force. Yeah, word on my back, no horse. What I spend on it like 40. I'm a young nigga minority. Cop a new coupe for 4 G's. Oh, I whip with snorting. Ballin' like I'm Batman. I throw 3s, that's with my left hand. Pulling up that jack, I think that I just need a kickstand. I don't wanna talk if that boy ain't talking no big bang. Bitch, I think I'm Goku, I might hit him with my backhand.
I'm about to Maybach coupe, inside blue, and the paddock came blue. Ayy, I'm at.
Alright, I hope I don't get copyright struck. Alright, so yeah, man, as you can hear, man, we within margin. Obviously we're not in the same room as Young Thug, but we can get a very competitive result with our plugin chain. So we'll start off with the main vocal, obviously, because that is the most important. Now the first thing I will note is the color schemes going on. So when you see orange, know that you do not need the plugin, but it is nice to have. And we have alternatives for them as well within this template. So the first thing is the front door. This is a plugin that is currently free, so if you watch this video as it comes out, I would recommend going and downloading the sound device. Front door, it is free at the moment, and what that's going to do, I'm not using it because I have a preamp that is good enough. It's an analog preamp, but if you want to add a bit of analog flavor to your vocals, you can try this out. Now if the free demo, whatever it's called, expires, I would recommend going for the Air Windows console or Air Windows Bus Color 4. Those are really good kind of analog flavor adders that you can use to get a good, better vocal sound. So with that being said, next thing, we have got our full chain will be all blue. So as you can see, these are all the things that are definitely necessities, and the green is obviously our studio rack effect. Now you will find as well in this template a studio rack actual preset which you can use within any DAW. You'll find that for the main vocal as well as for the beat, and that's pretty much exactly what you need. Everything else is a nice addition, but it's not really needed. It's just kind of all the background elements. But if you're using FL, you will obviously get everything. But yeah, we got our auto-tune, and these are the Young Thug, Alex Tomei auto-tune settings from what I hear. I don't know if I can recall where I saw the video of him talking about, you know, the auto-tune settings that Thugga normally uses. From what I remember, they are around 20. The natural vibrato is pulled to -12 with the ignore vibrato button enabled, and then the humanize around 36, 37. So yeah, you know, obviously we have our auto-tune in key with the beat. Now a great tip is to buy this Hornet Songkey plugin. As you can see, you know, C sharp, we got that real easy. Next thing we have, man, obviously is our SSL strip. Now obviously with the studio rack, we've got the exact same presets, and they do sound really good together. One might be a bit softer. I think this one was a bit softer, so I did add 0.3 on the mic knob, I guess. But yeah, I use this one simply because I was gifted this by SSL, and these are the settings I'm using. You can kind of dig through them and emulate them if you'd like. There you go, there you go, there you go. You can pause the video. We are using quite a high pass filter. I don't normally high pass the vocals this much, but we want to get that beat really tucked into the vocal, and we need that 808 to be like way too crazy, you know, because it is trap music. So those are the settings I'm using. I'm making use of the compressor as well, which I am in the studio rack plugin as well right there. Those are the settings. So yeah, next thing I do, man, is some de-essing. So let us go to a section in the middle of the song, and we can kind of look at the de-essing.
Like I'm Batman, I throw threes, that's with my left hand. Pouring up that drag, I think that I just need a kickstand. I don't wanna talk if that boy ain't talking no big bang. Bitch, I think I'm go.
So as you can see right there, the de-esser just saves us when necessary. You know, for the most part, it's just de-essing 1 to 2 dB, but then on parts where things get a bit crazy, it's kind of pushing it down by 7 dB, and that's just really going to save you, you know, on parts that get too sibilant. So that's what we do with the de-esser. So with the Q10 or Q2, I guess, what we're doing is just adding a bit of aggression towards our vocals. So if I turn it off, so it is off right now, you can take a listen to the vocal.
Ballin' like I'm Batman, I throw threes, that's with my left hand. Pouring up that drag, I think that I just need a kickstand. I don't wanna talk if that boy ain't.
And that sounds cool, but I want it to be a bit more aggressive than that, so that's why we're doing these crazy boosts. Now, some microphones are not going to take too well to crazy boosts, so just, you know, watch out. What you can also do is just drag and then pull everything a bit down, just so you can get less of an aggressive sound, or just turn it off completely. You know, without it, it sounds a bit more rounded, but we want it to be a bit more pokey. So,
ballin' like I'm Batman, I throw threes, that's with my left hand.
you know, it just really cuts through the mix. So that's what we do right there. Now, if you're gonna do crazy EQ like this, always do it before compression, because that way, you know, when you're compressing your vocal, it's gonna squash that. So it's gonna sound more like one vocal, not like, oh, there's a certain frequency that's being boosted. So what I am demoing right now is the UAD 1176. Now these plugins are pretty damn expensive. It's about $300. I'm still considering if I am gonna buy it. But you know, this is the settings that I'm using right here if you are into UAD. But if you're not, because obviously you need the UAD hardware, I've got a PCI card installed. I don't use UAD interface, but we could use this, man, a Molotov. To me, it sounds pretty much the same. So let's listen to the vocal without the UAD.
Ballin' like I'm Batman, I throw threes, that's with my left hand. Pouring up that drag, I think that I just need a kickstand. I don't wanna.
You know, we still get that total harmonic distortion. You know, total harmonic distortion is like what the gear introduces into the vocal itself. It's like kind of the ghost in the machine, you know.
Ballin' like I'm Batman, I throw threes, that's with my left hand.
And they both have their own tiny unique sound. But to me, this is an amazing VST plugin, the Molotov by, I don't know, this is a strange interface, but it is a damn good plugin, man. So yeah, and it is low latency, man. I mean, these UAD plugins are pretty high on latency, simply because of, you know, the fact that it is processing on the card itself. So yeah, next thing we do right here, man, is the free flangers, and this just gives the vocal just a bit of tape sound, a little bit of tape sound just to smoothen the vocal out. Nothing too crazy. From what I understand, we're using about 8% of flangers. So yeah, L1 is definitely a very important part when mixing with Waves plugins. You can also download the W1 limiter as well, which is a replica of this plugin. But when I turn this off, you can kind of hear the vocal doesn't really sit up as high as much.
Ballin' like I'm Batman, I throw threes, that's with my left hand.
You know, the low end of the vocal is not really there, but when we turn it on,
ballin' like I'm Batman, I throw threes, that's with my left hand.
And that's just 1 dB, you know, 0.8 if you calculate, you know, 1 minus 0.2, and it just really pops the vocal out, man. So yeah, doubles, man, I've covered this in my last video. I'm copying the exact same auto-tune settings just without the vibrato. I'm using a compressor. Let's actually listen to the double soloed. So we shall just do this real quick. And that's kind of the Uzi part of the song. I don't know. I always end up going into like a rockstar flow, you know. But yeah, when you mix that together with the main vocal.
Ballin' like I'm Batman, I throw threes, that's with my left hand.
And then we got the stutters as well. We got the delays. You know, you can do all sorts of cool things, you know. Reverse.
Ballin' like I'm Batman, I throw threes, that's with my left.
And then we got an effect as well.
With my left hand, pouring up that drink, I think that I just need a kickstand. I don't wanna talk if that boy ain't talking no big band.
You know your vocals are good when they sound good soloed. It means that they finalized. You know, they've got a certain sound to them and aggression to them. But yeah, you know, as well as the sends on the main vocal, if I turn them off, there's not really too much of a difference, but it's all that ear candy in the background that just keeps the vocal sounding good.
With my left hand, pouring up that drink, I think that I just need a kickstand. I don't wanna talk if that boy ain't talking no big band. Bitch, I think I'm Goku, I might hit him with my backhand.
I got a Maybach coupe.
You know, that sounds more kind of Thugga, but when we turn these on, man, I like rockstar stuff, you know what I mean? I gotta add on.
With my left hand, pouring up that drink, I think that I just need a kickstand.
You know, I need the delays, I need the doubler. The doubler right here is new to the template, and this is really just exaggerating the most important parts of the vocal, kind of giving it a telephone effect. And then we've got a full-on fruity flangers going on, and then an S1 imager just really just pushing that vocal out to the side. So that's really what's new to this template. Vocal distortion still there, just minus the distortion itself, which is parallel compression really at this point because we've got the Maximus going on. I've got an automated delay, so I use automation just to pop the vocal out a little bit. So just follow what happens right there.
With my left hand.
You know, and that's just in the background right there. We've got a rockstar delay. Boom, boom, boom. Those are presets, nothing too crazy going on. But yeah, we've got a bit of reverb as well, just basic, you know, a bit of like room on the reverb. On the beat as well, I might as well talk about that. If you want to get your beats a bit more analog sounding, you can use something like this. Oh, I didn't know that this was a resizable plugin. That's pretty interesting. First time for everything. But yeah, you could use an analog. Definitely get Bus Color 4 because I'm sure the demo wouldn't expire by the time you watch this in like a month or something. But yeah, just a bit of analog warmth if you'd like. What I have done as well for Studio Rack, I have created this chain as well because it's important that you get the gain structure right of your beat. So, you know, what I like to do as well is the mid-side EQ, just a little bit of leveling. Now, obviously, this is beat dependent. You know, if you've got a really well-mixed beat, you won't have any of these effects on, besides a bit of the gain staging, just to get the levels right. But yeah, I should actually probably add that in right now. Minus 6.4, just so I don't forget later on. Yeah, we turn that down, minus 6.4, just so we can get, you know, some headroom on the beat. But yeah, we've got mid-side EQ just to kind of level the beat out, as I said before. We've got a bit of tiny bit of, you know, you don't want to be EQing your beats too crazy. Otherwise, you know, if the beat sounds that bad, I wouldn't probably rap on it. But, you know, just a bit of a boost here and there and a cut here and there just to blend the vocal in. I'll usually do this after mixing the track, just so I can hear that, you know, difference between the beat and vocal, make sure it's sitting properly. And then yeah, just a bit of S1 because I found that the original one was a bit wider than the beat that I had. That's obviously something that'll happen when doing remixes. But yeah, it's sad that too many people aren't doing these types of remixes anymore. You know, I was inspired from Lil Wayne back in the day. He would rap, you know, on No Ceilings. He would rap on a lot of these remix beats, you know, and they wouldn't be the original instrumental a lot of the time. So, you know, this is probably what the engineer had to have done back in those days. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. There's not really much else I can speak on. There is a master chain, but I will leave that to those who copy the template, you know. Thank you once again for tuning in. You know, we can also listen to how Lil Duke would sound, blending in with what I was saying. So
pouring up that drink, I think that I just need a kickstand. I don't wanna talk if that boy ain't talking no big band. Bitch, I think I'm Goku, I might hit him with my backhand.
I been out the Lambo coupe, I forgot the roof, ball like swoosh. Hey, spin like I lost them too.
yeah, man, pretty consistent. I'm really happy with this. I hope that you make use of this. There will be a completely free VST version of this template as well. So don't feel, you know, okay, I'm missing out because I don't have any Waves plugins. You know, I always cater to everyone. So with that being said, I'll check out in the next video. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out.